Everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Shapes of Horology. As one can guess from the name of this channel, I have a strange fascination with non-traditionally shaped watches, i.e. round and circular. It's a strange obsession, I know. I still do like round watches and appreciate them, but there's many reasons probably why a circle just works as a watch. Probably goes back to like the earliest time of time-telling device, like the sundial showing time as the shadow rotating around in the circular fashion. Machining and polishing metal was probably easier and cheaper for a round shape, but for me, I've always gravitated toward square or rectangular-ish shape. I made a video on the channel on how this fascination started on my childhood watches. Also, it does make it a bit easier on my wallet if I'm, as I'm limited in my purchasing option. So this is my second state of the collection. Not too much has changed since the last, and I don't really see too much future changes to my current state of the collection. The grail is still the same, and I'm in no rush to get it. And I think going forward, I may make some videos on any new releases or upcoming releases of non-traditionally shaped watches and my thoughts on them. If I have some more spare time, I may visit some of the watches I've considered in the past and have passed on, or maybe just talk about some crazy expensive grail watches that I would never justify purchasing. Yeah, so basically I think the goal is to document as many non-circular watches that I've encountered on my watch journey. So anyways, let's get started with this collection. I'll add some B-rolls or close-ups as I go through. So as you can see, there's 10 slots for 10 watches. That is my limit for my core collection. I think it's a healthy number and gives each watch some reasonable wear time. Let's see. Okay, let's start with the vintage. By the way, I've done videos on most of the watches I'm going to talk about. So yeah, you can check them out if you're interested. This is just going to be like an overview of the pieces and how they fit into the collection. Alright, so first up, so I have basically 4 vintage watch, and the first one is gonna be this one, the Seiko Lordmatic 5606-5000. It's actually my first mechanical or automatic watch, and yeah, this kind of was my I guess gateway drug to really get into watches in general. Yeah, and I jumped headfirst into the vintage Seiko world, but luckily this was a very good example. Yeah, and I wanted a tank style watch, but all the new Seiko movement didn't have hand winding at the time, so that put me off. And then I realized some of the old vintage movements were actually very well made, and this is pretty thin. So yeah, this is kind of like my formal dress watch in my vintage collection. Let's see if I can put this on. It is my smallest watch, but because of the squarish shape, it does wear okay on my wrist. but it is quite small. Alright. I think the strap is just some generic alligator. Alright, next would be its brother from another mother, I guess. This is the King Seiko 5246-5030. It is a rare King Seiko. It's not even really found in the official catalogs, but this model does exist. And yeah, this was kind of like the only similar shape to this. At the time, I wanted to go from a Lord Seiko to a King Seiko to a Grand Seiko, but the Grand Seiko part didn't work out, and I made a video how I transitioned that to the Credor. But yeah, this is kind of very similar to this in many ways. It's around the same time in production, but this was Hua, this is Daini, and the movement for this was the 52, this was the 56. So yeah, this was, I think this in many ways had like a kind of just was Daini's answer to the 56, and it made a lot of improvements in terms of mechanical function, and I think it pairs okay with this strap, red maroon oxblood color. I do have the original band, but I think a full gold band is just not my thing. Alright, so this is the second. Let's see, next vintage, it will be this, the Slava Medical. This is my only Russian watch. Yeah, so this is kind of like a cool discovery as I was listening to watch podcasts and finding out this, you know, very unique looking Russian watch. And you know, this is a doctor's watch, as you can see by that logo, and I do work in the healthcare industry, so I wanted to get this, and I think I do wear this quite often actually. Not sure why, I just really like it. But yeah, I think they call this like the fridge case in Russia. But I think it's kind of just like a modern day Apple Watch case. Alright, next is this. This is the Longines, I think it's just Longines alarm. The code is 2361, I believe. I forget. Anyways, this is my first ever Swiss watch, I think. Yeah, I think it is. Also a vintage first, I guess. But yeah, this really caught my eye. You know, this integrated 70s bracelet, TV dial, blue dial, and it had this mechanical alarm, which I was very fascinated at the time. I think it just blew my mind that alarm could be mechanical and not just battery operated. But yeah, I don't wear this as much. Doesn't get too much wrist time. Maybe it's partly because of the thickness. It is a little bit on the thick side, but other than that, it wears not too bad. Yeah, it's a little bit thick. Alright, so I think these are my 4 yeah, this is my 4 vintage watches. I don't see them changing anytime soon. Yeah, I don't think I have any vintage watch on the horizon that I'm looking, that I'm hunting down yet. I do have this Grand Seiko from the vintage era that I do look at from time to time, but I still haven't really warmed up to that design yet. So yeah, moving on to the modern pieces. So I guess we can start with the dress or formal watch. I typically like to have like an expensive piece and then a cheaper alternative in each of the category. I think what my dad has taught me and what I've realized is that having 3 luxury watches is probably enough for me. Like factoring like service cost and cost per wear. For me currently, I think three luxury watch is a good balance. Alright, so first one is technically still not my watch, but it is the one second. This JLC. It's my dad's watch, but if I keep paying for the service fee after a few years, then I think I get to keep it. It's still probably my least worn watch. If I do end up getting it off of him, I may consider trading it for more, I don't know. This is rose gold and it's the heaviest watch. Doesn't have a date. Doesn't really fit my lifestyle. But yeah, I think I've wore it like one time over the past year. But it is a very beautiful watch, and I'm kind of scared to wear it, to be honest. It's the reversal, so it's got 2 sides. Yeah, not much to talk about. Alright, so next one in my formal dress watch is the, I guess the cheaper alternative. And the one that I would actually wear from time to time, but not really for any formal occasion, to be fair. It's just, it looks kind of like, you know, elegant dress watch. It's a B&W 335 watch. Yeah, it's kind of mimicking like a Cartier Tank American or Tank Sentry. It's got two mechanical movements in it. The only real thing is that for my job, having a date function is super important. But this date, it does have one. I don't know if you can see it. Super small. Sometimes I don't even know why they even bother. But yeah, this is this one. Alright, moving on. Guess this would be my Sporty 2. This one is the Formex Reef GMT. This is my newest watch, and I placed it on a tapering Milanese bracelet or mesh bracelet, and I love this. This is my only way of justifying a dive watch that is non-circular, because it does have this porthole design. You know, having a rotating bezel on a square watch or rectangle watch, it doesn't work. It has to be circular. But I really wanted a timing bezel function, and so I had to justify some way into this oddly shaped collection. So this is my only route. I mean, I'm sure there's other ways. Bell & Ross does one, but it doesn't look good to me. Yeah, this is a very thin 300 meter diver style watch. I mean, it's still like more GMT, but it's probably my only watch that I would feel comfortable going into the water. But I don't really do sports activities, so that part doesn't really matter. But if I were to go diving or swimming, I guess this would be the one. Alright, next one on the sporty side, I guess would be this. This one is the Brew Retrograph. This was one of the earlier purchases, and it kind of put me on my path to try to obtain my grail, the Glashütte 70s chrono. But yeah, this still wears super well. You know, it's mecha quartz, so it's reliable, and it has the 70s look that I was kind of going after. Right. Yeah, next one. So the next two are kind of like my everyday watch or office watch. So this is the Credor GCLH 979. This is probably my most worn watch over the past year, and it's probably currently my favorite watch, just because it was like such a process in getting this watch, and I placed it on a new bracelet from Seiko, and I absolutely love it. I mean, it's spring drive. It's got the Grand Seiko, you know, finishing and all that stuff, but it's just a little bit more unique, you know. Manual wind. Yeah, I've done quite a bit of video on this one, so I'm not going to go too much into this. Alright. So last one is my Citizen Solar Perpetual Calendar Big Date watch. This is the watch where, you know, if I was not into watches and I just needed a watch that worked and gave me a good date function, this would be it. So this is a grab and go. It should always be on time, other than the stupid daylight saving time in Canada. Other than that, it should always be accurate. And I think of all the watches, the Credor and this one, like their category is suggested everyday watch, does get worn the most. Okay, so if you've seen my previous state of the collection, then you know that one of the watch got bumped out of the core collection. So I'll show you my other, outside of the core collection, the watches. I'm not sure if this is good. Yeah, but yeah, this Julius got bumped out. This is my very first, I guess, adult watch. I know I said the Seiko Lordmatic was the gateway drug, but this one kind of predates it a little bit. It was just on AliExpress one night browsing and caught this fashion watch, and it kind of got me back into watches in general after my long hiatus from undergrad. So yeah, this not much to talk about. I mean, other than the shape is still, I would consider, very unique. It's a circle, but the glass is actually kind of square-ish. If you look at the inner ring, you can see that's a perfect circle. And then if you look at the outside glass, you see the 12 mark is pretty short, and then on the side here is pretty long to the circle. So the glass is actually not circular, it's actually square-ish. And then on top of that, outside of the glass, the edge is even more square-ish, like a cushion case. So this shape is actually super unique. I have not seen any other watch like this. It's very subtle, but yeah, movement is some kind of quartz. But yeah, I think of all the watches I've shown you in my core collection, this one probably got zero wear in the past year, especially after I got my Formex. So the Formex would kind of replace this one. I don't think I'm gonna sell it. It's still, you know, part of the journey. Yeah, so I'm gonna just keep this in this section. This one, I've talked about it in one of my videos. It's not in the core collection just because I don't tend to wear skeleton watches. It's just not my thing. But this was kind of a cool watch because I kind of assembled it myself with parts from AliExpress. And it taught me a lot about how a mechanical watch worked. Yeah, so it doesn't have a brand. It's just random Chinese watch parts put together. And then from my previous video, I did mention I got a watch over the holiday, but it's not really a new watch. This was, so on the journey in finding this one, which is like a very rare King Seiko, and at the time I wanted this one. Like, my goal was to get a stainless steel full bracelet blue, but it was so hard to find any of these models that when the gold one, a full gold one with original bracelet, came into opportunity in purchasing, I just grabbed it. But I always knew that I probably still wanted the stainless steel one, because this is not real gold, this is just plated gold. So all the like search terms and alerts that I've set up for that watch, I still had it all on. And one day, I mean, this kind of just popped into availability, not for like a crazy price. You know, it's got the original bracelet. I had to get an extension piece because it was pretty small. But yeah, this is pretty good condition one. It's got the kanji dates. Yeah, so I think I would wear this a bit more than the gold one. I'm not too sure. I'm kind of getting into the gold one now that I have this full stainless steel one, but at least it's not gonna tarnish as bad over the years as that gold one. Okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let's see, I mean, not much else has changed. I think I've gotten a new strap for this one, a new bracelet for this, new bracelet for this, and that's about it, I think. Let's see, yeah. I think some of the more anticipated watches, I'm not even too sure if there's anything that I'm too dying to see. There's that Atavia Chrono, but doesn't really have a date, so I'm not really into that one. Cartier Solar Beat is always something I wanted to try, but again, it doesn't have a date. Maybe this year they'll put a date function on it, hopefully. Yeah, so I do have a watch maybe coming in next month. It's not for my personal collection, but rather it's like a gift for somebody. So it's gonna be a round watch for the first time on this channel, I think. So I do plan on showcasing it. I don't think they mind. So yeah, if there's anything you wanted to see, just add it to the comment. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.